Hello friends, Matt Wilson here with the first of my weekend videos. I want to go on down to San Diego later on today, so I won't be able to fit another one of these in until maybe I get back on Monday, or I'll do it next week, but I'll catch up. I did my favorite American 80s band video the other day, the replacements, so I'm going to do what probably is my favorite UK 80s band, the Smiths, today. I'm going to do the Smiths and the early career of Morrissey for about the first, well, I mean, you know, I'll do it like from, I'll go through Vauxhall and I, because that's the last album I have consecutively. I have Morrissey albums after that, but I don't have South Park Grammar. So anyways, this will be roughly like 83 or 84 when the first Smiths album came out through 94. All right, well, that's because that's Vauxhall. All right, so the Smiths. Smiths are an easy band to collect if you just want the albums. This Smiths Complete, which is not, doesn't have all the 45s and whatnot, has all the albums, you know, the regular release albums. Any things that were unique to the 45s or, you know, B-sides that were not on the albums, you got to search yourself. And some of them, I believe, unless I'm wrong about this, Smiths Completists can tell me, aren't even on CD. So, let's go over this really quickly. A little bit of background first. So in the 80s, when I was into the Smiths and The Cure and Costello and Replacements and, you know, the bands that I've done videos for, and a billion other bands I have not done videos of yet, like, you know, Susie and, you know, Joy Division / New Order. Well, I was never that much into New Order, but Substance album was great though, wasn't it? You know, all those bands that were so big in collegiate post-punk new wave circles. I was living in a fraternity at SDSU, and you know, I had grown up with all the classic rock that I have been doing most of my videos on, but since, you know, when I was out of my parents' house and living with other college kids, that's all they played was stuff like this. So, okay, I thought that stuff was great too. So I went for years, never really or hardly playing 60s and 70s rock bands, and I just played stuff like this. So then when I graduated, you know, when I was out of college, late 88, certainly by 89, I kind of just went back to listening to everything, you know, like I would listen to Led Zeppelin or the Beatles again or the Stones or whatever, you know, and I would be into whatever was happening in the late 80s, like the Stone Roses or the Pixies or whatever. So it's all good to me. So anyways, the Smiths. This is our first album, the Smiths. I've always loved it. The Smiths are one of the most consistent bands ever. I mean, there's hardly a bad or weak or marginal track on the albums. There are some of the stuff on, what's the American one? Yeah, Louder Than Bombs, this one, but I'll get to it, is, you know, not essential, but there's enough essential material on there to make it worth owning. So anyways, let's do it one album at a time. The Smiths came out in 1984. I don't remember who that is on the cover. There was lots of homoerotic imagery that Morrissey had, you know, that he would choose the artwork for. I remember having lots of discussions at the time with guys, you know, about Morrissey's lyrics, and people there were see, I'm from San Diego, which is a very you know, conservative military town. There was a lot of guys there, especially in my fraternity, who just never wanted to even entertain the idea that Morrissey might not be straight. But it's there from the first, it's there from Real Around the Fountain on, you know. So I won't talk about this in great detail, but yeah, I mean, he never hit it. Anyway, every song on here is great. Get Everything Now, Miserable Lie, Pretty Girls Make Graves, Hand That Rocks a Cradle, brilliant. This Charming Man, brilliant. Still Ill, brilliant. Hand in Glove, brilliant. What difference does it make? I mean, it's almost like a Smith's greatest hits. A lot of British people I know complain that they don't like the production of this album for some reason, and that they prefer 1984's other release, the, you know, kind of mostly compilation, Hatful of Hollow, I don't have an issue with the production of that first Smiths album, but this is great too. There's a lot of BBC sessions. What I did here, what I took the time is I wrote, I printed this and I took notes. So we'll spend some time on Hatful of Hollow, since it is a compendium of different recordings. So William It Was Really Nothing is just the 45. What difference does it make is that's a Morrissey prefers this version. That's a BBC session. It's a John Peel session from '83. These Things Take Time is a David Jensen session. Easily the most satisfactory incarnation, says Simon Goddard. I probably just got all this stuff from Wikipedia a long time ago. I don't remember now. This Charming Man is a John Peel session from '83. How Soon Is Now, that's just the 45, the B-side of William It Was Really Nothing. Handsome Devil is a John Peel session. Hand in Glove is the single version. Still Ill is a John Peel session, also from '83. Heaven Knows I'm Miserable Now is just the 45 mix. This Night Has Opened My Eyes is a John Peel session from '83. You've Got Everything Now is a David Jensen session from '83. That's why I'm saying this video goes from '83 to '94. It actually goes to '95 because I have some of those Southpaw Grammar singles, which I'll tell you about in a second. Where'd I leave off? You Got Everything Now, David Jensen. Okay, did that one. Accept Yourself, I like that one. David Jensen session from '83. Girl Afraid is the 45 mix, the B-side of Heaven Knows I'm Miserable Now. Back in the Old House is a John Peel session from '83. Reel Around the Fountain is a John Peel session from '83. And Please, Please Let Me Get What I Want is just the B-side of William It Was Really Nothing. So you get a bunch of BBC sessions on here and some 45s, the A's and the B's that were released. It's a nice little compilation. Do I like it more than the Smiths? I personally don't. But if you do, you know, it's a double album. It's got more songs, you know, so it's all good, you know, to use that tired trope, which I can't believe I'm still using in 2025. All right, 1985. Meat is Murder took a while to grow on me. I used to think it definitely wasn't as good as the first album or Queen is Dead. No, I think it's a classic. One of the better albums of 1985. I pretty much love every song on here. Headmaster Ritual, Russian Ruffians, I Want the One I Can't Have, What She Said is a rocker. Every Joke Isn't Funny Anymore is great. Nowhere Fast, Well I Wonder, Barbarism Begins at Home, and then Meat is Murder, folks. Morrissey preaching his veganism, vegetarianism, whatever he is. It's another great album. Another very consistent album. Perhaps, you know, a hair difference in quality to the first LP, but, you know, how many albums were better than this in '85? You know, they kind of ruled that scene that I was in at that time. The college kind of, you know, post-punk new wave. Our station down there was 91X. I've mentioned it many times on this on my show here. It's still there. It's still playing mostly still, I think, 80s music, but when I go down to San Diego, I don't really play the radio, so I don't know what they're doing. All right, Queen is Dead, which is then and now probably universally considered, there's the lyrics, be their best album. The sequencing isn't as great on this album, though. There's too many slow songs in a row, but every song on here is great, so it doesn't matter how you sequence it. The Queen is Dead's a great rocker. Frankly, Mr. Shankly. I know it's over. Never had no one ever. Kind of slower. I love Cemetery Gates. Big Mouth Strikes Again is great. They used to play those songs on the radio. The Boy with the Thorn on His Side, brilliant. Vicar in a Tutu. I can hear all these songs in my head, you know, just going over the titles. There is a light that never goes out, and some girls are bigger than others. Did you hear a weak track on there? You know, this is a 5-star classic. Maybe my favorite album of 1986. I certainly played this more that year than any other record. Okay, the English had The World Won't Listen, which I never owned until I bought this little CD box set. All right, this is the cover that they use on the box. It's just, you know, there's some songs on here that would also be on Louder Than Bombs. This was a single LP. This was a double LP. Panic, of course, is brilliant. Ask, brilliant. London, Big Mouth Strikes Again. Shakespeare's Sister, There Is a Light. Shoppers of the World Unite. Oh, these are all brilliant songs. The Boy with the Thorn. Money Changes. Everything. Was that the one that Cyndi Lauper did and that a band before Cyndi Lauper did? I don't remember now. It's a great song, though. It's an American song, if it's the one I'm talking about. Asleep. I don't barely remember that one. Unlovable, Half a Person, Stretch Out and Wait. That joke isn't funny anymore. Oscillate Wildly. You just haven't earned it yet, baby. Rubber Ring, and Golden Lights. So there's some songs in here that aren't quite great, but it functions as a little compilation for the time. What I think is better is Louder Than Bombs, just because it's more complete. There's way more songs on here. I'm not going to read every single one because there's no way I can read that anyway. But some of their best material is on here. Some of the songs that I think are great on here were also on the previous one I just mentioned to you. But, you know, you need one of these anyway if you're going to have a lot of their great material that weren't on the regular release albums, the non-compilation albums. All right? What they probably need is just like a comprehensive box set with everything, every 45 and, you know, B-side and whatnot. But, you know, if they've got one, I don't know about it. Strange Ways or Strang Ways, I guess it's Strange Ways. Here We Come was their last album. It's their last studio album anyway. Another good one. I don't know if I think this is, you know, genius like some of the previous ones. But again, you know, by this point in 87, everyone was into the Smiths and, you know, radio was all, oh, it's got a little, you know, everyone was into the Smiths and the radio was all over this. Can't even, no. I'm not even going to attempt to read the song titles. But, you know, this one had Girlfriend in a Coma. I know. There was even a video for that. And you didn't really see the Smiths on MTV all that much. So I'm going to say still a solid album. Some people think it's one of their best. You know, they only had the 4 records, guys. The 4 non-compilation records. So any one of the 4, someone could argue is their best one. But I just think, by consensus opinion, it's Queen is Dead. But this is strong. And then there was Rank, which was live, which is, you know, okay. One might wish such a major band had a better live album, but, you know, I thought that the Elvis number, his latest Flame, going into Russian Ruffians, which had the same bodily beat, was interesting. But other than, I mean, there's not too much to distinguish this record. I've never heard any Smiths bootlegs of their live shows, so if ever I want to hear live Smiths, this is what I play. And that's it for the box. Now, Morrissey started his solo career right after that, you know, right after, it was 88 when Viva Hate came out. This is a strong record. Now, I think, you know, probably the best tracks are the singles, but it's all, I mean, Every Day's Like Sunday is brilliant. Suede Head, of course. I love Hairdresser on Fire. But the whole thing is solid. Morrissey's one of those acts like the Smiths where I don't know if there's well, with the Smiths, I think it's Queen is Dead. But I don't know if there's a consensus of opinion about what the best Morrissey album is. I thought at the time this was just an extension of the Smiths' sound. He would change guitar players on his albums. And I don't remember the names of the guys who play, but I know that this guy who plays on this album is not the same one who plays on Kill Uncle. So I'm going to say, sure, this is one of his stronger albums. He didn't make another one. Well, Bone of Drag was singles, but I'll get to his singles in a second. Kill Uncle was definitely not as good as Viva Hate. As you can see, it's just a CDR. Whenever I don't even own a CD of it, you can tell I don't really care. I mean, I don't even recall the last time that I played this album, but I remember this almost made me stop. Well, I was gonna say it almost made me stop buying Morrissey albums, but I didn't buy this one. I did get Your Arsenal the next year because it was good. But unfortunately, I heard this before I could think about buying it. And I thought, I don't need it. But it's okay, you know. I had somebody burn it for me. So, moving on to 92, which was the year I was married. Your Arsenal's really good. This is the one that's got Mick Ronson producing, right? Bowie's old guitar player. This one kind of rocks, you know. But then, you know, certain Smiths songs rocked too. This could be another candidate for his best album. You can Need Some on Your Side. I'll just type the ones that I remember. The National Front Disco. Certain People I Know is good. We Hate When Our Friends Become Successful. You're the One for Me. Fatty. Tomorrow. I mean, yeah. Like right now, I don't know if I would say this is better than Viva Hate, but I might. Because the other one, which is in contention, is, I don't have the live album that came out after that, Beethoven Was Deaf, is Vauxhall and I. Vauxhall and I is another strong album. After this, I moved to LA. I left San Diego in 95. And for some reason, I made a change in my listening habits. That's the year he did Southpaw Grammar, I think. And I didn't buy that album. But I got a couple of the singles, which I'll get to in a second. So, you know, maybe I should. I mean, I have other. Look, I pulled this out. This is a good one. You Are the Quarry. But it's beyond the confines of this video, so we won't talk about it. This is another strong record, though. If I was going to pick a best Morrissey album, yeah, it's either Viva Hate, Your Arsenal, or Vauxhall. Unless there's one, you know, released after this that I don't know about. I like You Are the Quarry, but it's not, probably not as good as these three. Anyways, rather than just go over the songs, let me show you what else I got here. Whenever I do these kind of, not that the Smiths are punk, but these kind of new wave or post-punk bands, they were great singles artists as well. Because like in the case of the Smiths and Morrissey, these songs, they were only played on like collegiate radio stations here in the States, but they were top 40 or top 10 even hits in the UK. So I have this little, you know, CD box of all of his 45s from 81 to 91, right? And they're great. In fact, I would recommend these over any of the actual, well, 88 to 91, that's just the first two albums, right? And then, you know, Born to Drag. So yeah, this would definitely be better than just listening to those two albums. All right. And then another little box from 91 to 95. All right. Now this actually leaves out a couple of the 45s from Your Arsenal or Vauxhall, I forget. But I have, you know, those CDs, but I guess the B-sides I don't have. Anyway, yeah, I mean, again, tons of material. And these have more B-sides than what was on the first box set. Some of these CD singles have like 3 or 4 songs. So, again, I almost would say it's if you have the patience, listening to all the singles or making a playlist of this would be better than just listening to the albums. So, okay, so that's it for Morrissey's 45s, but I also wanted to have the singles because I was a completist in those days. Why didn't I just buy Southpaw Grammar? I don't know, but I got The Boy Racer, which was the 45 single, and then I got Dagenham Dave. So, yeah, see, look, there's like 3 cuts on there. Anyways, so, all my videos, they've been about 20 minutes. The Smiths, like I said, when I was really into these guys, I thought that consistency-wise, they were almost like the Beatles. You know, I'm not saying their music was as strong as the Beatles. I mean, consistency-wise, it's hard to find weak Smiths tracks if you're into the band. You know, I know people that really have a knee-jerk reaction and can't stand the Smiths, and it's usually Morrissey who has that repellent factor, and he has mouthed off to the press about his politics or, you know, whatnot. He's made some stupid comments in the last 20, 30 plus years, really. But you know, if you have the axiom to trust the art and not the artist, like I do, I don't really concern myself too much with what people say. You know, I mean, I did that Clapton video the other day, and he's made some stupid comments too. You know, so or, you know, Kanye West. I mean, you can just pick your artist. To me, the Smiths were great. Morrissey was great for you know, many years, and he could still be capable of great things. I just, you know, I reach a saturation point with an artist where I think I have enough of his stuff or enough of her stuff. You know, I don't need to have everything. So yeah, I mean, definitely both the Smiths and at least the early career of Morrissey get a huge thumbs up for me. All right, so all right, Matt's signing off. Until next time. Some ideas I have are the Jam. I could return to Prague and do Camel. I could do the Animals and Eric Burdon and the Animals, since I got everything. It's just sitting out here too. I just got to feel the vibe. Steppenwolf. Anyway, you can suggest some things too in the comments. See you, folks.